What is going on, people? Welcome to another album reaction slash review. Today we're going to be doing Kerser, No Rest for the Sickest. Now, just a quick disclaimer. Yes, I am going to be reacting to absolutely every single track, but you will not see that. You will only see snippets from pretty much every song. There's two reasons for this. One, I don't want the video to be way too long. It's just going to be way too much content for you guys to watch. It'll be pretty boring, so that's why it's condensed down into roughly a 20-minute video-ish. And second off, this is Kerser's paid content at the end of the day. To my knowledge, he put this album out for sale. People have paid money to see this, and it's not fair if I then go and put this all on YouTube from my platform anyway. So that's why it's going to be edited down. Whenever I listen to albums or mixtapes or EPs, I always play it out loud. I don't often do it through headphones. It's just how I like to listen to things and take it in as a project. So that's why the audio is going to be slightly different. I've got it loud enough so you'll be able to hear. And like I said, it's only going to be snippets from each song, and then I'm going to give my thoughts at the end. Woo! I like the way that slows down at the end as well. That was a smooth transition. I don't know if it was meant to do that or not. 1 minute, will that a second. I like the way it was just like that consistent multi, get it, and he had this like raw delivery of it. I fuck with that. We got that kind of rock influence on this one. Again, a very US sounding beat. Definitely. That was a very, very intense track. It had its moments of downtime, and it had its moment of this like graphic imagery as well. Like, really interesting song, that one. Here's a question to you guys. Was this project produced in-house? Was it made by multiple producers? Like, did Kerser have an input to this? Or did he just take beats from whoever, if that makes sense? I want to know if these drums were played live, because he has a lot of drums and a lot of guitar played in his tracks as well. There's a lot of piano played. Like, he uses a lot of guitars, drums, and pianos. And I know they're three very generic instruments that you will hear in rap all the time, but it sounds like it's played live. I could be wrong, but it sounds like all of this stuff is played live. That's so dope. Yeah, they're using like a bicycle, pedal bike, bell? Yeah. That's so dope. Ready? It's like off beat. Neb's coming on this criminal vibe out here. Woo!
Seriously, bro, he's a fucking dirty trash bag, fucking scum looking, inflamed pussy, fucking over-rubbed, fucking fat ass, fucking dirty, filthy fucking scumbag, pussy rubbing on filthy fucking herpy, dirty filthy scumbag. With their dirty little slut faces, rubbing their dirty little inflamed coffee beans, fucking dirty filthy inflamed cunts, dirty little cunts. It doesn't matter, man. Read a bit more like you fucking. We love you, dirty filthy fucking scum, fucking dirty.
Woo! That definitely felt like an outro song. It's not. I think we've got 3 or 4 more left, but that definitely felt like an outro kind of song. And if it had this Kanye West feel to it as well, in a weird way. You can tell Kerser's the kind of guy to get a lot of shit off of his chest through music. Like, music is his way of getting shit out. See, this little bit at the end reminds me of, again, I keep drawing a comparison like a Kanye kind of thing to do. This reminds me of his track Last Call. Kanye's Last Call on the album, is it College Dropout? I think so, I could be wrong, but it reminds me of that a lot. Judging by what people say, this seems to be one of Kerser's fan favourite albums, and I can definitely see why in an early stage of the Oz hip-hop / rap scene really growing and coming together. I've had a few people tell me about how Aussie hip-hop started back in the 90s, early 2000s, you know, Hilltop Hoods, Bliss and SO, even before them, people before them doing it, but Kerser was the kind of one to really start to bring up that gutter rap kind of style. And a massive, massive part of that has got to be down to how Kerser represents Australian culture and how he's proud to be Australian. On top of that, representing his crew ABK225, I mean, when you look at his features throughout pretty much all of his projects, looking at him, he has rates on near enough every single project. He has Nebs, Sam on here, but he doesn't have any other features here. So he likes to keep it in-house, he likes to keep it to his group, and he kind of brings his crew up with him without putting a bunch of other people on at the same time. Again, another reason I can understand why Kerser's so liked is on this project especially, he talks about a lot of personal struggles that he has, you know, thoughts about suicide, contradicting himself in his own music, court cases, women fucking up relationships with people. So he talks about a lot of personal struggles, and I'm sure people can cherry pick where they relate. From a musical standpoint, it has a very basic feel to it. Now you could take that as a pro or con, I guess. The pro being, you know, it's easy for people to remember the lyrics, it's easy to understand. He doesn't have this super fast rapid flow like say a Wombat where people struggle to hear what he's saying. Sometimes you can very clearly understand Kerser, especially someone who's not from Australia, who has that sort of accent barrier. It's quite easy to understand him. He has like a lot of kind of mainstream type beats, and even down to the flow he uses is quite mainstream. I know that's quite weird to say, but as in, again, going back to the point of being easy to understand, but when you listen close to what he's saying, he's not being super generic either. Sometimes, because other times he can be very, very generic in, you know, the typical rapper, I'm gonna talk my shit. And that breaks me into his punchlines. Whenever Kerser has a bit of wordplay or he has a punchline to get in there, it's 90% of the time normally about how good he is as an artist or how big he is as an artist. So although he has a bunch of punchlines, they're not really creative in terms of the angle that they come from. It's very direct. I'm Kerser, bitch. I'm the king. I'm the best. And again, that's not necessarily a good or bad thing. Most of the beats as well just typically use either drums and piano or drums and guitar. It sounds like a lot of the beats are played live perhaps. I don't know if this was produced in-house or if he took these beats off of other producers, as in paid for, not like literally stole. And then in one or two of the tracks, you know, you have these like kind of unique sounds, like there was the pedal bike bell. In this other one, it had kind of this beep, and it kind of has like this one unique layer, but I wouldn't say the beat production was too crazy. On top of that, mentioning the beats, I think, I could be wrong with saying this, but I'm pretty sure most songs were at a very, very similar tempo as well, which leads Kerser into having this very repetitive flow. That's personally where I'm going to start to now dig out the reasons why I don't listen to a lot of Kerser in my own time. It did sound fairly repetitive across a whole project. Of course, if you put every song side by side, there are going to be differences, but as a whole project, there was only 2 tracks that stood out. One of them being We Run Shit with Nebs and Sam. That beat was quite different, and I guess it did have 2 features, and the other one being a song called Temptation, where he told a story that wasn't about him. He did it from a third-person perspective point of view. Get my words out, Chazza. But other than that, it was very, very typical Kerser. And again, another point that I make, that some people will find a positive thing, some others may find a negative. Now for me, Kerser doesn't create too many moments, not too many points where you have to go, whoa, will that shit up. I mean, you get artists like Chillin' It, Wombat, Shadow, Alex Jones. They create plenty of moments in their music, and maybe for some people in this project, they find themselves, you know, getting hype as shit. And you know me, I can get almost more excited over personal deep lyrics sometimes than the talking my shit lyrics. but I didn't find myself doing that enough in this project, and at times I ended up zoning out. For me, my favorite projects in the world are the ones that are able to create moments. Every single song, I'm able to memorize the name of the songs after the first time of listening because they stand out so much. And personally, for me, my own opinion, Kerser doesn't do too much of that in this project. When I made my Chillin' It Women, Weed and Wordplay, the highlights were probably a lot longer in that video than it was this one. And that's because for the most of this one, I was taking it in, and there were plenty of songs on this project that I did enjoy, but I kind of was just taking it in, nodding my head, rather than jumping about being like, what the fuck, will that bar up? And so to just kind of round up my thoughts on this project alone, it was a good project. But for me, that's all it is. Now, of course, I didn't grow up with Australia. I didn't grow up listening to this when it first come out, understanding the whole dynamics of everything. So you've got to take that into account. I know plenty of people that are going to say you don't understand. And yeah, you're going to be right. I don't understand because I haven't lived in your culture. And this hasn't come out at a time where I can relate to a lot of it. Everyone goes through their own shit in life and everyone has their different struggles, but at the same time, your struggles can relate to others. Personally, the reason it doesn't connect with me is because Kerser's struggles aren't the same as mine. The same way that you guys could listen to a UK artist and maybe not understand everything they're going through is the same way I can listen to an Aussie artist and not understand everything they go through just because of how much culture they put into their project. So please understand when I say that this isn't the best project ever, it's my opinion from a musical standpoint. It's not from a standpoint of how important it was to you at that point in your life. But yeah, that's Kerser, no rest for the sickest. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. There will probably be a poll on this video saying if you agree with me or not. I just want to see what you guys think, and let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to debate anything with me, feel free to join the Discord and hit me up there, and we can discuss, you know, our thoughts and opinions on this. And I definitely want to do more of these project album reviews. The next one probably won't be a Kerser one, but we might come back to Kerser perhaps when he releases a new project, which is apparently rumored to be January, February 2019. So we'll probably revisit a Kerser project round about that time. But either way, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to follow the Discord, follow the socials up top, and yeah, thank you, man, for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.